Mentor Monday on Monday, January 13th, 2025. I'd like to welcome all of you. See a lot of faces in here I recognize, and some I don't, but welcome. If you're a guest today, or this is your first time in to our Mentor Monday event, a special welcome. And so thanks for joining us today. We've got a great program for you today. We're focusing the first quarter of the year, January, February, March, on building a solid foundation for your business. And today, we're going to talk a lot about SMART, S-M-A-R-T goals. And I think you're going to like it. We've got a lot of discussion going on about that as business professionals and entrepreneurs. Setting business goals are so important. I'd like to introduce my co-host today. I've got Claudia with me today up in Canada. She said it's freezing up there. She's got 2 coats on. But welcome, Claudia. And also Jillian, the opposite. She's down on the beautiful French island of St. Martin. So thank you, Jillian. Thank you, Claudia, for helping us co-host this today. I'd like to introduce my good friend, Dave. I met Dave Daughtrey back in 2015 when he invited me to become a business partner with him. And I said yes. And over this last almost 10 years, we've become great friends. He and his wife, Gabby, and and my wife, Judy, we've become great friends as well as business partners. But he's a great mentor. He's taught me so much over these last 10 years. And so Dave's going to talk today a little about SMART goals and building a good sound foundation and growth of a business as an entrepreneur and businessman. Also, I'd like to invite you, if you're not already, we'd all like to invite you to Dave's Inner Circle. He has a private Facebook group called Inner Circle, Upline Pro Inner Circle. And there's a couple, I think 1, 2, 3 short questions you need to answer and agree to the terms, and we can get you into that group of professional business builders and entrepreneurs. It's a dynamic group that's growing. It's a relatively new group, and it's a private group. I'd like to invite you to join us on Upline Pro Inner Circle private group too. But Dave, welcome. Good to see you. Dave, by the way, is down in sunny San Diego. So he also is in that beautiful weather of the United States. But thank you. I see Jillian just put that link in there too for some links. You'll see some links in the chat. If you are new to us, appreciate you just letting us know where you're coming in from in the world in the chat. Tell us where you're from and say hi. And but anyway, back to Dave. Dave, good to see you as always on a Monday. Hope things are going well with you and Odin down there in San Diego. Did you make it to the dog park this morning?
Dad went down to the ball field and Odin played with his girlfriend, Pearl, called the Pearl Girl.
Good to see you, Dave. Take it over.
Thanks, J. Michael. Yes, I am in San Diego, and fortunately, we're quite a ways away from the fires that are just tearing up Los Angeles. It's sad, it's shame. So, just include those people in your prayers. But yeah, we live in a high fire zone where we're at. But fortunately, we're okay here. I've been thinking a lot about how fortunate, how blessed I have been, along with many other people, to have found such a wonderful company, wonderful people, wonderful products. And it changed my life. And so I feel now my purpose is to help other people change their lives. Whether that be through our products, using our products when it comes to health and wellness, and not just having lifespan, but health span. Sure, we want to live a long time, but you want to live a long time and be healthy a long time. And so, we have products that help do that. At the same time, you want to live a life of contribution, not a life of survival, where you can contribute to things you believe in, and you can support. And the only way you can do that is you can't contribute something you don't have. And so you have to find a way to build that. And I feel very fortunate to have found that vehicle for life. I found it in 1998. So what I want to do is, before we get into SMART, and I love Jillian's background. I have it right in front of me here. I should have actually put it behind me. Doesn't do you guys any good if you can't see it. It's on my screen. But when I got started with For Life, I was in a situation in my life where I was desperate. And I always say that what moves people, what causes people to make changes in life, it's one of two things. And it can be a combination of both of them. And that's desperation or inspiration. And now, when it comes to this business, what generally drives people is desperation or that sense of urgency. I talk to people all the time. It's almost like every day. Dave, I've got to figure something out. I'm struggling or I'm broke, and I know that this business is the future, and so I see this constantly. And on one hand, it's a good thing because that's what creates a sense of urgency, and it causes you to move, and that's just how we are as human beings. But no matter how desperate or how inspired you are, you still need to have a plan. The funny thing is all these people I'm talking to, they're all adults that tend to be in their 50s and 60s and 70s. And I'm not knocking anybody or demeaning anybody in any way. I think we've all been broke. I don't ever say poor. In fact, the guy I was with at the ball field today with Odin. He's got a dog named Pearl. I call her the Pearl Girl, and it's like Odin's girlfriend. And he's talking to me, and from the ball field, you can see my house up on top of the mountain. It's the highest house out here where we live. And he goes, and he knows because he sees the house and he goes, looks like I got a beautiful place up there. He goes, have you been poor? And I said, I've never been poor because poor is a state of mind. I've been broke. I think we've all been through that where we've been broke. I say broke is a matter of time. So there's a little one-liner that I think we all should remember. Poor is a state of mind. Broke, it's a matter of time. You just need to have the right vehicle and a right plan. So when I joined For Life, I created my simple plan. And in part of that plan, I had to have some goals. That's what we're going to talk about today. SMART. And so these goals that I set for myself, all right, I focused on them every day. We're creatures of habit. If you set a goal and you write it down or you put it on the wall or whatever, if you don't think about it every day, it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. You've got to make it a habit. All right. And so I created this habit, which basically launched me in my business to where I'm at today. And yeah, I have made, I've earned many, 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 many tens of millions of dollars in For Life. In fact, For Life's now paid my organization close to 3 billion. It's going on 3 billion. Now, that's not paying me, but that's paying my entire organization over the course of 27 years. And so, but here we are, together, and every single person here has the opportunity, just like I've had and continue to have, to build future. But you got to have a plan. All right. So let's talk about this plan today. And I want to pass over to Jillian in a couple of minutes, but I just want to share with you what mine was when I started. All right. Because SMART, all right, and that's what this is all about, SMART goals. All right. You have to be specific. The S stands for specific. Well, with me, how was I specific? Well, okay, let me give you the difference between specific and non-specific. Non-specific would be, okay, I want to become a presidential diamond, and I'm going to do it by talking to a lot of people. All right. Well, that's not very specific. How are you going to talk to people? All right. Now, when I joined For Life, I did not have all the tools we have today. Now, these tools can sometimes discombobulate you, be a little confusing. It's like being a carpenter and you're just doing everything one way. All of a sudden, all this new technology comes out and you got to build houses using all this new stuff. And you're like, wait a second. I drafted everything on paper. I didn't use all this, this technical CAD stuff that everyone's using today in the computer. And there are people that still do it the old fashioned way. They write on paper. That's how they draft. Well, tools are wonderful, all right? And you want to learn how to use them, but you still have to be specific about what you're trying to do. Well, we want to talk to people, introduce people, share with people, inspire people, invite people, all right, motivate people. That's what we do here. That's what For Life Upline Pro is all about. Okay. So the S, being specific, means if you're going to talk to people, whether it's through social media, at church, you're going to just, you decide you're going to go to some seminars that might be local. There's always local events. You can just look them up and find, I mean, here in San Diego, they're every day. You can just show up somewhere and go meet people. Or like the guy I talked to, Mike, it's his birthday this month. He'll be 82 years old down at the baseball field. We talk. That's what this business is about, the social business. So the S, being specific, I set a goal to share, to present the plan of what I talk about with my products, my business, my opportunity to 10 people a day. That's a lot. All right, 10 a day. But that was me because I started full time. When I started For Life, it was full time. I was living in a little apartment. I couldn't even afford the $400 a month rent. I had no car. I had nowhere to go. And so I called a phone company and I said, "Hey, what would it cost to put a phone line in my little place?" And they said, "Well, the installation's free. It's 10 cents a minute, but at nighttime it's free from 7 o'clock at night to like, I think it was 7 at night, 12 hours, 7 in the morning." And so I had another phone company, free installation, that had a bit more expensive at nighttime, but during the daytime they were a bit cheaper. And I was going back and forth using two different phone companies to build my business. Okay, didn't have the tools we have today, but I did it. I locked myself in that one studio that I was living in, and I just started calling people, developing relationships, talking to people. The first day, 10 people, because that was my specific goal, 10 a day. It was pretty simple. Family, friends, all right, people you know. I mean, just look at your cell phone. You can find 10 people easily. And you can just call them up and say, "Hey, I started a new business, or I want to tell you about something new that's going on in my life. Can I share it with you?" Who's going to say no if they're friends of yours or their family? All right. They might criticize you. I got criticized by my own dad. He said, "Why don't you look for a real job?" My grandma says, "Are you sure you want to do that, son?" Yeah, I'm sure I want to do it. But it was 10 a day. But here's what my goal was. Okay. First of all, it was specific. That's the S. The M means it needs to be measurable. Well, it was measurable, 10 a day. Okay. And my system, by the way, it wasn't to just run through 10, then go through 10. I had a follow-up plan. All right. I talked to 10, and there was a lot of get back to me, get back to me, get back to me. Well, I was really good about getting back to people. All right. I wrote it down on paper. And I've showed, I mean, I don't have it with me now. It's out in my shed on the side of my house. But I've got stacks of yellow pages, that I wrote down my notes. Talked to Jillian today. Need to get back to her on Tuesday. She's got a cat named Fred. Whatever I could write down so that when I talk to that person again, there was something in common. I was building a relationship with that person. All right. But it was measurable. All right. So it was specific. It was measurable. I could track it. You've got to have a tracking system. I see so many people, again, that just they'll get out and they'll run. All right. They'll talk to people, but there's no organization. All right. It's a business. If you don't want to treat it like a business, treat it like your job. Just pretend that you've been hired, all right, and now you have a job, and your job is going to be sharing a message with people, but keeping track of the people that you talk to so you can get back and follow up with them. Timing is everything. I've got a whole new group of people that have started up in For Life since December, since last month. And they're doing the same thing. They're talking to people, but they've got a plan of following up. All right. You've got to have that plan. All right. So you have to be able to track your progress. A, being attainable. All right. You be realistic about your goals. All right. You know, to say, well, I'm going to be a platinum. Okay. In the back of your mind, of course. That's like Elon Musk says he's going to go to Mars. I believe it. I believe before he dies, he probably will make a trip to Mars. All right. But right now, what are you doing today to get there? There's things you've got to do today. All right. So the way that you make that long-term goal attainable is by chopping it up and making sure that what you're doing monthly, well, I say quarterly. Let's start with quarterly, every 3 months, then every month, every week, and then every day. Mine was 10 a day. Was that attainable? Some days, most of the days it was. I'll tell you how in a minute. A lot of days it wasn't because something happened in my life. You know, something came up and I just didn't get to the 10. All right. So it's got to be attainable. R has to be relevant. All right. In other words, does this goal, is it aligned with what your long-term goal is? All right. Where do you see yourself in a year, in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years? Where do you want to be? I was just thinking about that this morning because when Mike said he's going to be 82 this month, I thought, wow, I'm going to be 65 here in April. And, you know, he's 82. So how many more years older than me? Where will I be when I'm his age? This goes through my head. I think it happens as you get older, you know? And so the things that I do today, I want them to be relevant. All right. And I think I'm more focused on that than anything else, you know, in my personal life and relevancy. Well, your goals need to be that same way. Do they align with your for life goals? All right. In other words, let me give you an example. Let's say that you want to really get good at presenting and you want to be a leader, you want to build a downline, you want to get to gold and platinum and do all that. All right. Well, something relevant would be I want to be a good speaker. I want people, I want to be believable. I want to inspire people. I want to move people. Okay. So that's relevant towards your goal of wanting to get to gold and platinum. Well, here's another one that could be, I think, relevant. There's a physical aspect of this. Be a product of your product. All right. So I did that when we launched our Pro TF. Many of you have probably seen the videos. I was training. In fact, I was doing videos. Pro TF's coming out in 90 days. You guys get inspired, you know, and so the physical side of being a product of the product, I wanted people that look at me like, man, what this guy transformed. Pro TF. You see, I was promoting the product. Very relevant. All right. Well, guitar playing. That same time in my life, I met Russell Hitchcock and Graham Russell, the founders of Air Supply. All right. Spent some time in the studio. I've got a picture of me and Graham. We recorded some music together. I'm recording stuff with Air Supply. Not relevant to my for life business, but relevant to me in the sense that, you know what, it's fun. All right, I enjoyed it, made some good friends and stuff. All right. And maybe it uplifted me. So maybe there's a little bit of relevancy there because I was inspired and grateful that I could do that. You see the difference? You've got to, whatever goals you're setting, make them relevant. And then time bound. That's what the T stands for in SMART. You want to set some time and hold yourself accountable. All right. And that's the one thing I do believe that I was good at. I think I might have even been a little hard on myself sometimes because I was like, all right, Dave, you know, you didn't do this. Why didn't you do it? You know, and you just got to get over it. The past is the past. One of my first mentors would always say, never base tomorrow's successes on yesterday's failures. All right. The past is the past. Move on, learn from it. All right. And so you need to set some time and say, okay, let's say you want to get to, like I talked to Rafael, my guy in Peru over the weekend, and he's got his goal to get to diamond. He wants to be bronze by the convention in 2026, the international convention. Well, that gives him about probably what, a year, in a couple months, maybe 14, 15 months. And you can do that, get to bronze. So he's got his goals set by time. All right. Don't say, I'm going to be a platinum this year. Again, you got to get back to having it be attainable. All right. And set a time for these things. So back to me and my story real quick. Then I want to pass it on to Jillian to continue on here. But my goal of 10 a day, how did I get to 10 a day? I found the best resource that I had was OPP. I say this all the time. You hear OPM a lot, other people's money, all right? OPP, everybody has it. Everybody, other people's people. Okay? If I asked all of you to just take your cell phone and send me, Dave, every contact in your phone. We got what, 31 people on here? Let's just say each of you had 100 contacts. I bet you got a lot more, but just 100. That would be 3,100 contacts that I could work. Now, I could work them alone or I could work them with you. We don't judge anybody. We just reach out to them. We'd be busy people. All right. So OPP was the most important thing to me. All right. I can't force someone to open their cell phone and reach out to their people. The ones that did, when I started For Life, many of them are now, from bronzes up to platinums. All right. So I was able to talk to 10 people in one presentation. It took me a while to get there, but I got there. All right. I was doing conference calls. Remember those phone companies I was telling you about? I got one called Eagle Telecommunications, $50 a month. For $50 a month, I had 500 phone lines. It was a bridge. Now, people paid for their call. Back then, you paid for it. So it was a toll call for people. It wasn't like an 800 number where it's free. I couldn't afford that. But I got the bridge for $50 a month. Okay. All of a sudden, we were getting 10 people on, and then 20 and 30 and 40 on these conference calls. And that was when I was working with Jeff Altgilbers and Dave Phillips and Tommy Myers and Edgar Mojica, and Gene Hubersberger and Sue and Steve Hymas. And I could probably go back and through the archives and come up with a lot more names. But the point is, they'd get one or two people on, and somebody else would get one or two people on, 10 people in one presentation. That's how I got to my 10 a day. And I was able to attain that. Or up to consistently have that. So you've got to have your goals be smart, all right? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. And so even today, I'll go out and do events and do meetings. Obviously, in a lot of live events that I do, hundreds of new people come. So you do one presentation, one event, you've got hundreds of people. But it started out one-on-one. You've got to start. And then as you start, work smart, all right? Smarter as you work harder. So with that, I want to pass it over to Jillian so she can continue on and share some examples of SMART goals and different fun activities and so forth that you can have in keeping it fun and alive and inspiring. So Jillian, I'll pass it over to you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yep.
Everybody can see it? Okay, so basically, I just wanted to say thank you, Dave. This is something that's really was one of my go-to tools when I was teaching business with Avon corporate managers. And this is really something that if you can just use this, keep yourself smart, have it posted on your wall, and have this action plan in place for you for the rest of the year. This is ultimately your vision, just so you guys know. This is how you break down your vision in small steps. We don't have to go in and start doing a business plan. We don't have to do that PowerPoint presentation. It really is a mini opportunity for you to level set and go back and reflect on how you're progressing to your ultimate why. This is what we have to go back to. Everything starts with why. So if you aren't achieving your baby steps towards what you ultimately want to do in life, then you need to sort of reflect on that. So that's why the whole breakdown of the SMART goals is perfect for what we're doing with For Life. Now, for me, just to share my vision is I want to be able to heal the globe. So that's all goes back to my feel good, share good. So how can I do that? How can I be effective? I have to sit there and take the time to reflect on how far I've come. So last year I did that. I actually, this is 1 year of me being introduced to the company, and I've been progressing, but then I took the last Christmas break to take some time to reflect on my goals. So this year is going to be a little bit different in how I proceed, primarily because there are things that I want to improve upon. So that's why it's really important to set this up now, so to make sure you're achieving what you want to achieve by the end of the year, or whenever your timeline is going to be set. So for instance, so based on what David talked about, there are many things that you can do. And by the way, this resource, unfortunately today I wasn't able to share it inside the chat, but these are part of our growing pains that we'll overcome over the next few trainings. But I am sharing this inside the Upline Pro community. So you'll be able to download this inside the community. We are going to be having more tools in there. There's going to be more systematic support happening inside the Mentor Monday forum, but also inside the Upline Pro Inner Circle. So if you do have anybody on your team that wants to grow and wants to grow fast, please invite them into Dave Daughtrey's Upline Pro Inner Circle. By the way, for those who don't know, he is the millionaire maker. So let's start using that term. Dave is our millionaire maker. We want to get his word out there, and we want to offer his insight in a formatted way to help you guys to duplicate this as well. So going back to the exercise, Dave did talk about SMART. So be specific. So this you can use to help you create like a little bit of a vision for yourself. So what exactly do you want to achieve? What is it like for me, like I said, I want to help heal the world, right? That's my goal, right? That is my specific goal, right? But then, that's a big, broad goal. So how do I get there? For me, I have to create a communication process, and I'm working on that with your guidance and your support on how we can engage that English market to accept what we have without fear. So that is my ultimate goal right now, is how can I get that message out? Is it measurable? How will you know you achieved it? I won't know I've achieved it when we have more people coming over and buying Transfer Factor, because they finally realize that this is going to help them with their immunity and help them with so many things that they're dealing with from a healing opportunity, right? Attainable. Is this within your current resources and abilities? It is now, because guess what? I have a functioning computer. For those who know my problem I've had for the last month, I've been having to work on a Windows 7 old laptop because my other one died. So today I'm extremely ecstatic, and one of my goals was achieved. My little baby steps. I got a computer where I can actually do what I know I can do to help me get to my goal. Sometimes it's simple as that, breaking down some barriers, right? But I know the goal is attainable because I now have the resources to do what I need to do. Make sense? So is this within your current resources and abilities? Yes. Relevant and also realistic. The two kind of tie in together, just so you know. Is realistic and relevant. Why is this goal important to your business growth? For me, is making sure that I create a venue that allows people to come in without fear. That is relevant so that I can actually attract more people. Like just for an example, Jane Michael and I went on a call and tried something different on X on the weekend. And it was so nice to see each other stay on an open forum call. But what I would not have been able to do that if I hadn't had the technology in my hand, to do this. I hadn't done the investment of, giving myself the tool to get there. What this does is give me that, to me, is relevant. So is relevant in my goal because, I had the tools to get there, and I was exposing myself to an audience that's different. Okay. So is it time bound? So what is my deadline? my deadline is, we talked about rankings and all that, but my goal is a little bit different than a ranking. But I know that the more people I bring in, the more I will attain my goal. So I'm bringing bigger, but it could be something simple. I want to make Builder Elite next week. If you're looking at that and you just started, and because that gives you an extra X amount of money in your pocket, but also gives you the comfort level to now start building, your ranking. You start with the small ones first, but I just want to share what my goal was. And what is fun that you can do with this is that you share your goal with your team or upline. I just shared it with you guys. So I'm sharing my good goal. It's all about feel good, share good. I'm sharing my goal with you guys. I've declared it. I put it out there for you to hear what my message is, right? So you need to make sure you find that go-to person, if it's your upline, even if it's on this call today. If you don't connect with your upline, very often, you've built that community and trust. Put it in the chat, put it in the Mentor Monday, declare that this is what you're looking to do, because the minute you say it, you own it. And we are there to rally you to follow up. So the key is try to find that mentor. A good mentor is somebody that follows up and cares and helps you drive you to get to your goal. Okay. And make a little fun activity. This is something that I want to do with the people close in my network, but we could do this. There's nothing stopping us from doing this, but it starts with making a vision board. You see a lot of people do that, right? You see a lot of people do that in life, no matter what they're doing. It could be a life vision. It could be, you wanting to go on a trip. How do you put it out there unless you actually declare it and put it out in the universe that this is what you want? We could do something fun. Like right now, you could grab a piece of paper, now that I have the technology, we can have some fun with whiteboards and play together. What is our company vision? How do we get there? But that's coming down the road. But do yourself a favor, make sure you write down and share with us. I'd love to see you guys share what your vision is and then put that in the chat or put it in the group. That would be great for us. But if you think these are things that we can do or activities that could help you, I am all for trying, putting some time aside, and we can do a smart board, vision board for what you want to do. So an example would be, on this board could be what products you want to be able to afford this year for life, or what products are you going to rally around to help the people that you care about. Also, everybody should have transfer factor, because we want to get 3 million transfer factors into the global hands right now. But there are other things that you want to be putting in your smart board is famous quotes. I want this to be the year to heal. That's my quote, right? This is the year to heal. So I'm going to have that on my vision board. Another thing that I want to do is make sure that I've on my calendar that I'm booking in time to reflect, because that goes back to SMART. So in my calendar, I'll make sure I book in time to reflect. And my day of reflection, by the way, is every Friday, because I want to be able to, I don't want to start on a Monday. I want to end my week on a Friday so that I'm, comfortable to absorb it over the weekend in my downtime. I reflect on Fridays, and then I can put it into action on Monday. So I don't feel like I'm rushing on a Monday, because sometimes we do that. We rush on a Monday to get things done. But if I reflect on a Friday, then I can actually take the time to relax over the weekend and be ready for Monday. Okay, so that is something that I'm looking at. The other thing is I'm going to be doing this for myself, and it might become my screensaver. For those that want to do this, let me know. But you can actually change a screensaver on your devices. And, I did that last year. I had a screensaver. I don't know if you can see it, but, I probably can't but I have a screensaver and on my phone that I did last year. I have to update it. And it was little reminders for myself, that these are actions that I wanted to attain this year. One of them was to, go on a trip. And guess what? Last year I went on a trip to Mexico. And another one was to learn digital assets training, which I did. I took the time to spend some time teaching myself some. So not everything was attained. I didn't get to go back home to Canada, England to see my family, but those are things I will add into this goal. So it was a nice reminder for myself to create that little vision board on my phone. My next step is going to be on my monitor. That'll be my screensaver. So just to have a little fun with this, you can, like I said, share your vision board in your team chat or social media with the caption, here's my SMART goal in action. Let's all grow together. I'd love to have you guys dabble with it. It could be just a sketch. It could be just a text. But at least then you've actually done it and you've actually declared it. Make sense? And the other thing is for the next steps, revisit your SMART goals weekly to track progress. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this every Friday. How close am I to my goal? Celebrate small wins to stay motivated. Like I said, I just celebrated the fact I didn't get everything I wanted last year, but in reflection, I actually attained a lot in what I did in my goals. But you have to declare it. Dave always says that, right? You always have to declare it. You have to put it out there. And you make sure you're joining the training calls or events to refine your approach. So these, like J. Michael and Maria and, you know, the English team and JT and everybody else that's been a presenter in the past, we want your help. We want you to come in and join these calls, and then put your hand up if you want to volunteer and help us with coming up with some processes and systems to support everybody's growth. It's not an individual growth. This is our team, the For Life team. Like, look at that. We're all one team. The more we grow, the more we earn. And I'd love for Dave to go more into the whole, you know, the additional bonuses that we can get to. We get to a level when the company grows, we earn. Like, that's what I'm doing. It's not about Jillian over here trying to pull off and do a silo. I want the company to grow. That's why everybody's involved with our Feel Good, Share Good mission, which we'll share more about later once we refine the flow chart. But we are trying to get For Life in everybody's pockets because of what it does for everybody. So that's really about in making sure that your goals are all aligned and that the vision includes that. Your vision should include, how can I serve Dave and Elizabeth's mission? And if you can remember that mission every single day, and that's added to your SMART goals, and each and every one of you just invites one more person to these communities every single week. One person, you know, imagine what's going to happen by the end of the year, how much growth we have. Because it just takes one to, and that one person could, you know, as you know, it's a power of three, really. However, you know, all you need to do is find that one person that can open up the doors for thousands. And that's what I want you to make sure, that you don't ever just come to these calls by yourself. And I'm not just talking to mention Monday call, we're talking about the health talks that are coming up too. You are introducing somebody into a journey that could change their life exponentially. So remember, you have clear goals. Consistent action means unstoppable growth. So let's all build your, not only For Life's legacy, but your legacy. So this tool is actually, I'm just going to show you where you're going to find this, because unfortunately I can't show it and share it in the chat here. But for those that are seeing this recording, 1 second. Let me just go open up Facebook. All right. So inside the Upline Pro community right now, it is uploaded already. So if you're a member of the Upline Pro Inner Circle, which if you want to be a millionaire, you know, down the road and follow the guidance of Dave Daughtrey, which, you know, if you're not showing up to these calls weekly, then you may want to rethink that as being one of your SMART goals. Okay. Then you would go to find the document, support document. It's found under files. Okay, you can even access this on your phone, but under files, you click on files. Okay, and oops, 1 second. Actually, I didn't upload it yet, but I will upload the file. So I'm going to upload the file. So I'm going to upload my file. And it might take, because I'm on here right now, it's going to show up in here eventually. This is where you're going to find it. But what will happen is, if in the discussion currently right now, if you see it, a second, it's right there.
It's there.
So, it's right there. So it just might be a little bit of delay. I have a lot of tabs open. but you're going to be able to find these support documents in the Upline Pro community. And then alongside the recordings, they'll be uploaded inside the community with Facebook, the Upline Inner Circle. And I just have to say thank you to Maria. Maria does an amazing job with these sketch notes that she does. And, we are looking at creating a workbook down the year. So in the course of the year, you're helping us create the tools that help you for next year. Okay, so thank you for that, and hopefully you found value in this. But if anybody does want to do a vision board training or little fun exercise, message me, because that'll be a fun exercise to do. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing now. Over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Jillian. All of us have goals in life, whether they be, family oriented, money oriented, physical oriented, that you're trying to maybe lose weight, get healthier, whatever it is. And I've found that one of the best ways to keep yourself on that straight and narrow, if you will, to get to your goal, your objective, is to stay connected. First of all, get connected and stay connected. What do I mean by that? You have to show up. There's a video, I wish I had it in front of me to share with you guys, but it's funny. One of the Kenyans posted this a while back, where a lady is saying, you don't show up to the virtual meetings, you don't show up to the live meetings, you don't show up to the trainings, you don't show up to any events, and yet you wonder why your business isn't growing. And we have to show up. My first mentor said something to me. It was one of the very first events I went to. I was 22 years old, and he sat right next to me, and I had no clue who he was. And he introduced himself. His name is Jim Rohn. Well, if any of you have been, around business and, excuse me, business, philosophers or motivators, he's the best. You look him up, Jim, J-I-M Rohn, R-O-H-N, Jim Rohn. Well, he said to me when he finished talking, he sat down and another person, Zig Ziglar, talked, who's another great motivator, and then Mark Victor Hansen, who's the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, him and Jack Canfield. And Jim said to me, young man, if I can give you any piece of advice, I'd give you this one. I don't know what company you represent, but you need to attend every meeting, rally, event, convention, anything that has to do with your business and your goals. Why? Because some of those will be life-changing and you just don't know which ones they are. So you go to all of them. Some might be boring, all right? You tend to get something from everyone that you go to, all right? You learn something, but some will be life-changing. And I've had those. I've had meetings or events I went to that were life-changing for me. And so I want to say, when it comes to setting your goals and moving ahead in life, right? Have those goals, write them down, but don't do it alone, meaning that you get connected with us and you stay connected. Get on these Zooms. Mentor Monday is very important, all right? It starts off the week. Hopefully it gives you a bit of inspiration, all right? In fact, I'll try to, I'm not going to brag here, but I want to share something. I've already shared this with a few of you people, but I before I actually put these in the archives, in my drawer here, I was digging around, just cleaning files out, and I came across a file that was kind of buried in there. And I opened it up and I found a couple of things. I found from 1998 a For Life brochure. And I found as well, share this with you guys, on top of the brochure, I found when For Life was sending paper checks. They were converting from paper checks to doing things in wire transfers. And they had actually sent the paper checks in the mail. And they called me up and said, hey, don't cash the checks because the wire is going out today. So obviously they're not going to pay me twice. It'd be nice, but they're not going to do that. And when I found these, it brought back a lot of memories, and I was thinking how fortunate and how blessed. But this was back in, if you look at the date, see the date there? It's 2008. That was my, if you look at it, it says right there, generation. So that's basically when we talk about For Life, they pay 58% in your network. All right. So as you build your business, you get all these bonuses, and we'll get into the pay plan in the training. But we all, those of you that know For Life, know we pay 64%. 64% is paid out. 58% of that is your network. All right. As you're building your team, your organization, you start getting these percentages and infinity bonuses and all kinds of different bonuses. Well, this particular month of April 15th, it's right around my birthday, was 71,203. But here's the one that I found quite interesting. You look at this, when you become a platinum, all right, which I did in 2006, I became a platinum. This is the platinum pool. That's the addition on top of the other. Now, back in those days, they don't do it anymore. Not only did you get the platinum pool, they let you have the gold pool as well, part of the gold pool. They don't do that anymore, but if you look at this, it was the premier pool. So that says right there, premier pool, all right? And that one was $2,700. So when you add those up, not bad, all right? It's over $100,000. And that's really, from a financial standpoint, in 2006, my life changed. And it's ever since then, here's even some more checks. My priorities, my purpose has changed. It's not about how big I can get a check for Dave. It's how many people I can inspire and motivate and mentor and keep on that straight and narrow path, because it took me quite a while to climb the mountain of success. The first checks were not 71,000 or 72,000 or even 7,000. We called them onion checks. You got them in the mail, you peel them open and you cry because they were so low. All right. But you know what? How this business works, it's the power of duplication. All right. OPP. This is what I want to finish up on. Just remember, OPP. You're building a network. What's a network? A network is a community. That's why we have the inner circle, Upland Pro Inner Circle. We also have, for if you want to see some product testimonies, the Time for Life, Feel Good, Share Good. All right. That's also a private group to see testimonies on our products. All right. But building your network, you have to understand that your goal, all right, and I'm talking, this is, we're not talking about the specific you setting your personal goal, how many people and so forth. All right. As a networker, what's the definition of a networker? What's the goal of a networker? The goal of a networker is to develop the skill, the ability to take a message to people that you don't even know through the people you do know. So use the people you do know as a conduit. And what you're going to find many times, the people that you do know, or maybe you met them and you become friends with them, and they like you and they trust you and they open their cell phone and their door to you and say, you know what? I know some people we can talk to. So now you're getting to the people that you don't know through people you do know. I promise you what's going to happen as you start to identify with people, as you're building that network, you're going to find that people who know people who know people, and somewhere down on your third, fifth, sixth, seventh level is where you're going to find your platinum. It's not always the one you sponsor. It's the one that's down below somewhere. So that's why it's critical as you're working and setting your goals and networking. It's not just linear. It's not, I'm going to talk to 10 people today, and that's it. OPP. Talk to your 10 people, but they may not always be the people that you go find yourself. Somebody might bring one or two to the table and you get to talk to them. You didn't even go find them, they came to you. And they're new, they count. You get to count those as part of your 10. So when I did one presentation, if 10 new people would show up, I got my 10. And I did it in an hour, you see, because OPP. So that's a message I want to leave. As you're setting your goals, think OPP, OPP, other people's people. So you're developing that skill set of developing friendships, relationships. And how's that done? It's done by being likable, having fun, and developing trust. Why is Jillian here? She trusts us. Why is Claudia here? She trusts us. Those of you that have been with us for a while, you're with us because you trust us. You believe in us. We care about each other. I talked to one of my distributors over the weekend. He's just getting started. And he said to me, he said, Dave, I need to make this funner. I'm coming across as too. And I said, I know why. Right now you're broke. Everything is so critical. Everything is magnified. All your emotions, everything is tense. All right. And that manifests itself when you're presenting. So relax and just try to block out the challenges right now that are going on in your life, and that 15 minutes or 30 minutes or hour you spend with that person. All right. Enjoy, talk, make a friend, and present, make it informative. And that's what he's doing. All right. And so, that's what we're all doing. All right. In developing our networks, developing our communities. So I want to finish up by telling you all, that we're all very blessed. We're fortunate to have what we have with our company. It is a gem. I talk to people every day that have been in companies, and I got a guy right now, company owes him over $20,000. Not going to pay him. All right. I just can't imagine they're out of business. So the point is, we have something that doesn't come around very often. Let's cherish it, but take advantage of it. Work it, build it. Just be bold. All right. Don't be afraid. Get out there. All right. And have fun with what you're doing. So with that, love you guys. Thank you for joining us today. We had a fun little group here. I don't know if anybody has any other comments they want to share. J. Michael, I'll pass it to you. Maybe you can close this out by just sharing a few comments. But thank you, everyone. We love you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Jillian. Thank both of you today. That was a great Mentor Monday. We do this every Monday. As Dave said, get this as one of your top goals. And we're focusing this January on, actually this quarter, on goals and settings. And in fact, next Monday, I'm excited for next Monday. Dave's going to be talking about creating a mindset and vision for long-term growth. And Dave, as a restaurateur, in the restaurant industry for over 40 years, owning my own restaurants for over 30 years, one thing I look back on over those 30 years, I, in many cases, overestimated what I was going to be accomplishing in 1 year. However, I highly underestimated what I was going to accomplish in 5 years and push that out 10 years. I look back, when I could not believe what happened at 10 years. I would have never thought it would. So the mindset has to be for long term. And many people do that. They overestimate what they want to run a marathon in under 3 hours this year. Well, perhaps they can do it in 5 years or 4 years, but I think next Monday is going to be a great topic. I think we're going to have a lot of interaction on that one, but a mindset and vision for long-term growth. Look at Dave, 27 years, but he started that in that little studio apartment 27 years ago and had a mindset for long term. So he's going to share that next Monday. I hope you all join us. Invite some friends to join us. Get into the Inner Circle, a private group. We'd love to see you in there. We'll welcome you in and let you introduce yourself into the inner circle. But thanks again, everyone. Mark this on your calendar. I see a lot of, as I said, familiar faces in here. Anna down in Colombia. Oh, so many. I can't, don't want to run through them. We're getting up top of the hour here, but welcome everyone, all our Kenyan groups. So good to see you in here. Alice, always great to see you, but all of you. Trisha, there's one of our Kenyan top leaders in there. So guys, thank you for coming. Bring some guests next week. If you are a guest today, get back to that person that invited you to this. If you can get some more information, get yourself invited into the Inner Circle. But God bless every single one.
Let's let Jillian, she's got her hand up, so we'll go
okay,
ahead. Okay,
Jillian, you close it. You can go ahead and close it out.
Oh,
thank you, Jim Michael.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you for those that really want to get involved and help support this. The number one thing you can do is show up, like Dave went, just show up. Show that you care. Give us some feedback, like, comment, share, invite is what we need from each and every one of you. If we're going to grow the English market, we need each and every one to share their voices. So I just wanted to quickly just share also a huge thank you to Maria. She got her head down. I just want to share what she just quickly sent to me just based on our call like right now. I'm just going to share with you, and this is going to be available for you guys inside our Upline Pro. She's created a fun little doodle, like a sketch doodle, while she's sitting here talking, like listening. So these are the resources that you can have fun with. Talk about having fun. You know, this is a little checklist tool. And this, for those who don't know, Maria, I would love for you to just share a little bit of your background for everybody. I know what you can do. I know what you brought to the table in the past and helping me when we started teaching social media for people in the past. But Maria, do you mind just opening up your mic? Because I really think we need to get to know who Maria is and what she can bring to the table. Okay. I know I'm putting you on the spot, darling, but can you open up your mic or I'll help you? Okay. Is that all right? Do you want me to talk for you?
No, it's fine. I couldn't unmute for a second there. Thanks. My background is in education at all different levels, and my passion in life is learning about how our brains work and how to make it easier to learn. And so many of us are visual learners, and so many of us have a hard time with like a lot of words coming at us. And it can just be really helpful, I think, to have images. And I went out and I did training and courses and some qualifications in how to just do visual thinking that is more naturally observed by your brain. You're much more likely to remember something if there's images involved in there. Plus, isn't it just a little more fun, like Gillian was just saying? And I love colors, and I love Dave's colors. I have to tell you, they're my favorite colors. So I'm just going to keep dropping these in. If you go to those Facebook groups, you'll be able to see them. Everything I make, you are perfectly welcome to print it up and put it on your refrigerator or something, just because that little visual thing will trigger in your mind all the things that Dave has been talking about and that Gillian has taught you. So there's actually some really interesting science behind what I do. And I also love doing it for you. So please feel free to use any resources that you see. And thanks for the opportunity. I love it. I love supporting you guys. This is an amazing community. I use the products and they have made such a difference to me. I'm going to get emotional. I love the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And then I'm over to you, Dave. You have to close it out. Like, that's it. Okay. So I'll just start crying.
Thank you, everybody. Look, we've got so much talent here, and let's all, we're here in a new year, new month, new you, new people. All right. So it's all about together. All right. I love 4Life slogan. It's taking transfer factor to the world together, building people through science, success, service, and satisfaction. We've got a great mission statement, great goals, great community, great team. You know, we've got now the Facebook going, the inner circle. We've got Time for Life, Feel Good, Share Good. We got Upline Pro. We got Maria. We got Jillian. We got you, all of you. All right. A lot of talent here. So let's have fun. All right. Love you guys. Let's open up the mics and here we go. Share the love. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Keep growing.
Thank you so much.
Don't
Thank
forget
you.
Real
Thank
Talk
you.
tonight. Real Talk at 8 p.m. By the way, it's all about healing massages
you.
tonight. Okay.
And you know, having been
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.